Hey there everybody, Professor Cloud here with another reaction video. This is the second one for the game Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and this one we're going to focus on the family side of the game. So as I talked about in the first video, this is a competitor to Dead by Daylight. It is, though, much more stealth oriented, especially from the victim's side. The other big difference is that there are three quote-unquote killers, or in this case family members, that are actually going to be working together. Now, the primary reasoning for that is because these maps are much larger. They are much more intricate. They have many more twists and turns and hallways and hiding places and all kinds of different things like that that make it much more difficult for the family members to seek out their prey. So these are going to be my first two matches as family. I believe the first one I will be playing as Johnny, and the second one I will be playing, I believe, as the cook. Now, I'm actually going to call this out even before we jump into the matches. This is one of my complaints. Because there are three, you cannot guarantee that you're going to get what killer or family member you want to play as. So even though I had selected Johnny and had played as Johnny in my first round, when the second match came around, because someone else already had Johnny, they forced me into playing Cook. I don't know what decides who gets to play which killer or which family member if you both chose the same one. That was very confusing. And then there is also the requirement that Bubba be in every single match. Someone has to play Bubba among the family members. I understand the thought process behind it. It is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It has always been focused around Bubba as the primary killer of those movies. But in a game like this, what does it matter? Would be my thought. They all pretty much do similar amounts of damage. They all do different types of attacks as far as attack speeds and things like that. And then every single family member, just like in the victim's case, have their own perks, their own skill trees, their own loadouts and attributes that you can then customize to your own build requirements. Let's go ahead and jump on in and take a look at these first two matches of playing as family. And as always, if you are enjoying the content, please make sure to hit the like button. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button. I really am trying to build up the channel and get better within the YouTube algorithm. So any help that you can provide, I would greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the game. All right, so I want to play Johnny as my killer, or as my family member. So, and
part of the family now. It's up to you to secure the property.
Yeah, I've already watched that. We're good. I prefer killers for slasher movie style games. So normally and in Dead by Daylight, I'm 50-50 now. I can already tell, though, that I'm going to like killer a lot better on Dead by Daylight than I am on this game. I can already tell. Because I've been watching the game most of the day, and killer just feels very, very clunky. And I don't know if it's because they're third person, or if it's something else. But I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know. They just don't feel right. But we'll see. We'll see.
County for a missing University of Texas student. The Sheriff's Department says Maria Flores, a native of Uvalde, was last seen near the town of Newt. Her vehicle was recently discovered abandoned, with officials reporting no signs of foul play. Authorities are hopeful that the expanded search is nearby. Harlow and Chinatown.
So Bubba always starts in the basement.
Family and friends are urging anyone with information regarding...
I always start outside. And the cook will always start in the house, whatever the house is. So
I should have handled this myself. I'll fix it.
I'm going to start with collecting some blood so that I can give that to Grandpa.
How the hell did those kids find us? I should have been more careful.
Come on back now. Let's just get this over with.
Get your fill, old man.
It's not a lot of blood for Grandpa, but it gets him started at least. What's up top here? Well, keep in mind, it is the first day of the game, so it is probably running smoother for me than what you're seeing. Because it actually feels okay. But I don't think it is running as smooth as other games where you're playing a third-party character. Alright, there's more blood. Yeah, see, I don't want to unlock things. Oh, there's more blood. Good. At the moment, they're all down in the basement. We would have been notified if they had come up from the basement. Because Grandpa would have come to life. Oh, the walking animation, I mean? Wait till you see the other killers. The other family members. In my opinion, they look ridiculous. Cook in particular.
Here you go, old man.
Well, he still needs more. Now, there's some below.
Damn it, Johnny. Get your head straight. Come on now.
Oh, there's some. Alright, somebody... Oh, somebody just got executed. Okay. I actually have step sounds. I can hear every single time that Johnny drops a foot.
thought you knew how to run this household. This is a mess.
I have no idea where the exits are. I see where the fuses are. Oh, really? It feels late? Huh. Alright, I'll have to pay a little bit more attention. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It does feel about a split second off.
Here you go, Grandpa. Here you go.
I feel like I'm missing a whole entire part of the map. Because I don't know where to go.
It always tastes best when it's fresh, don't it?
Because I don't want to open up the doors. Never mind, just found somebody.
Now, let's see where you scurried off to. Quite yet. Ain't no tracks here.
The problem is I don't know how to attack. Never mind, got it.
What's coming to...
How the hell did they get loose? I can't fix this by myself. Hey there! Oh!
There we go.
You look better if you die right quick. Trust me.
Alright. Now, let me go give this blood to Grandpa. Find out where the remaining two are.
It's all right. Big boy's gonna be wearing you. You looking better already. Now help us.
Oh, they must have sat still.
They always try to hide. It's always the same game.
Okay. Wow, there's all kinds of fuse boxes around here. Are they chasing somebody? No. Just Bubba being Bubba. Might be time to bring this blood back to...
If Grandpa was able, this would be over by now. I better go feed him.
Alright, there's one of the exits. And the generator's still on. Yeah, let me go back and feed Grandpa. Hopefully he can show us where some more people are. The remaining two. Oh man, where the hell am I going?
Nobody escapes me. Oh, you're thirsty today.
Where are they? I mean, there's just no indication. Alright, I'm gonna go back down. I'm gonna go down to the basement then.
Now.
Generator was turned on. Well, the generator was back where I just was. Unfortunately, I can't squeeze through there. Oh, there's Bubba. Yeah, the quote-unquote killer experience just doesn't feel as satisfying. Oh wow, this building's pretty damn cool. The actual old slaughterhouse building. They could have come in from down there, but I can't get in there. They haven't gone out this door, but Yeah, so that's now closed. Yeah, I don't get the impression that they are out here. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't. No, I can't get through there. Huh. Alright, well, let's go feed Grandpa. Alright, this is dark. Well, they certainly haven't gone out this way. There they are. Yeah, this is the exact situation that this game, I think, is a problem. Is where this game has a problem. If you get people who are good at stealth, and the victims are told when Grandpa is going to do his thing, all of a sudden, like, we did not see those two until the very, very end, right before they went out. And they both went out the loading dock exit. The loading dock exit. That had to have been the one that I powered. No, stop doing that. You need to be able to turn off auto match thing. Whatever. Okay, so that was Johnny. Well, he's the only thing Grandpa is supposed to do is to give you an aura. So he's supposed to give you the aura of the auras of the victims. So rather than the killers, the family, having to have aura perks to be able to see where the victims are, Grandpa's supposed to help you with that. But Grandpa's only supposed to be able to help you with that if they're moving. If they're not moving, and they know how, which is how, by the way, how I exited. No one saw me because I wasn't moving. So as long as you stay in between his roars, you're not going to be seen. And then, of course, staying hidden via the grass or what have you. Yeah, so what are his perks? Endurance. After being hit with a sneak attack, the attacking victim's highlighted for 3 seconds. After recovering from being stunned, your stamina recharges 30% faster. And blood harvesting, stamina consumption is reduced by 5% when carrying a blood vial that is more than 50% full. There's a Grandpa ability slot? How do you unlock Grandpa abilities? Oh, okay. And then... Oh, yeah, you can modify, by the way, which execution. I think that's kind of cool. Alright, hitting a victim highlights them for all family members. Highlighting duration is 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm gonna go that route. Yeah. Increases chicken detection radius. That's a passive. I think. Yes. Your proximity range is increased by 1.5 to help you stay focused on the last victim. Well-fed youngins. Whenever Grandpa's sonar is activated, all family members instantly regain 50 stamina. Oh yeah, nice. I like that. Yeah, so the way that the skill tree works for the family members is also very different because they have passives, whereas the victims do not. And they only have one cosmetic, or at least Johnny does. Okay, so I'm definitely going to swap out one of these for the new one that I just got. This one. Being hit with sneak attack, the attacking victim. Yeah, this one. I'm going to swap out for this one. And then what are these two? Oh, they're already equipped. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, and then... Okay, that's how you get access to all the perks. Got it. And then I have 5 attribute points. Savagery determines melee attack damage. Blood harvesting determines the amount of blood gathered from blood buckets from wounding or executing victims, and the total amount of blood that can be carried at once. Endurance determines the family's total stamina capacity along with stamina drain. Alright, so let's put 3 points into savagery and 1 into each of the other 2. Because I feel like he needs to do more damage. I feel like I want him to do more damage. Okay. Oh, what is progression? Oh, okay. It just shows how well you've done with each of the different characters. Okay. Total matches played. Oh yeah, that's right. There are unlockables too. So behind the scenes photographs from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. Behind the scenes photographs from the film. Okay. So that's what we get for the different player levels. Alright. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to be interested to see if they only focus on the 1974 film, or if they start to bring in collectible items, because there's 167. Let's take a look at one of them just to see. So this was the hitchhiker from the original movie. So that's what that particular family member was based off of. An on-set photograph of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre cast resting in the scorching Texas heat. Okay. An on-set photograph of co-writer Kim Henkel reviewing a script. An on-set photograph showing actor Paul A. Partain in his role as Franklin. That was a very creepy character, by the way. And an on-set photograph of Alan Danziger in his role as Jerry. All right, well, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. We'll do another family match, and then we'll go back to victim. Maybe I'll play a different victim. But yeah, I think for me, I don't know, Lord. I think that I think it will appeal to some people, especially from the victim side. As I said, those who prefer more stealth than straight up, chase action. And the puzzle solving that you have to do in order to exit. But I think that that's a much smaller percentage than those who favor Dead by Daylight, for example. One thing that will help determine its length is a roadmap. And I have not seen a roadmap. I have not seen where they have produced one. That's going to be because look at Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight comes out with 4 new updates a year. And in those 4 updates, you can get anywhere from a killer, a survivor, or both. They always come with a map or more, and sometimes usually updates to existing maps. And they have 4 events every year for people to, without paying a dime, earn cosmetics and do different things and, all of that kind of stuff. So they need to have some kind of a roadmap. Maybe not to that extent, because of course Behavior's been doing it for 7 years. But they need to have some kind of a roadmap, because five family members and 5 victims. Yeah, and I think there's only 4 maps as of right now. Now, granted, the maps are much bigger. So I think that they will have to have something more. Oh man, I'm not getting to play Johnny. I'm playing Cook. Alright. That's fine. Just means that I spent all that time upgrading Johnny for nothing. And we're going to be in the family house at night. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Lord.
Search continues in Muerto County for a missing University of Texas student. The sheriff's department says Maria Flores, a native of Uvalde, was last seen near the town of Newt. The vehicle was recently discovered abandoned, with officials reporting no signs of foul play. Authorities are hopeful that the expanded search in nearby communities of Harlow and Chinatown will unearth new leads. Family
It's definitely a different game than Dead by Daylight. It is definitely a different game. The other problem that I personally have, and this is just me.
Why am I always the one cleaning up these messes? I tell you what. Goddamn kids.
Okay, I may have to say that. Is there no blood up here? The one thing I need to say is, as a ginormous horror genre fan, Bubba and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series have always been my least favorite of the slasher horror movies. I watch them. I've seen most of them.
Better get to it.
But they are absolutely my least favorite. So, without that draw that Dead by Daylight brings to me with Myers and very soon Xenomorph and Freddy and, you know, so many others. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, that goes outside. Okay, that's still locked, but I just saw...
Damn kids.
Yeah.
Where'd they go?
Alright. Where's Grandpa? There's Fuse.
What the heck is everybody doing? We should have found him by now.
Okay. Close that back. I'm gonna add a padlock. I prefer Elm Street. Yeah, that's Freddy. So he's in Dead by Daylight. They gave him a character some time ago. Unfortunately, he's not one of the better characters in Dead by Daylight, but he definitely has a character. There he is. Alright, there's one.
Take this now. It'll perk you right up.
Okay. Alright, they're still down in the basement. There we go.
I'm not a violent man. I don't much enjoy being violent, but I got no choice here.
Okay, he wasn't really going anywhere, so...
You're supposed to be the tough one around here. They are making a fool out of you, boy.
can't go back after her. Well, that's interesting. They don't normally put something one way.
It's gonna be much more for the worse if the others find you. I promise you that.
All right, let me see if I can.
You around here somewhere.
Huh. Oh, that's the one that I locked from the other side, I guess.
I'm too dang old and worn out for this nonsense. Why is this on me to fix?
They do have some very cool sayings, I gotta say. I do need to find my way back to Grandpa so I can give him some blood. Well, this is right back where I started. Alright, there's the door.
Fresh as it gets. Drink up now.
There's one. Oh, man. What? Okay, never mind. I don't need to do anything.
Always messing with those doggone girls. Now you listen.
Okay.
You're gonna... This'll be simpler if you sit still.
Lord mercy. I'm getting fed up as all get out.
Yeah, for me, as a killer, as a family member, as whatever you want to call me,
I'ma smack that Johnny
I don't
upside
find
his
this
doggone
nearly
head.
as much
This
fun
is all his doing.
as Dead by Daylight. There. Out that way. But I don't know, can I get over there?